Okay. Oh. Hi, this is Ice Blue 333. Currently, it is November the 2nd, 2025. So I messed around too much in my previous video talking about the tarot cards or whatever. But in this video, I need to tell people that this upcoming full moon and this Mercury retrograde is going to be crazy. So let me pause for a second real quick. Now, in regards to the Mercury retrograde, it's hit already. Well, the Mercury retrograde hasn't begun yet. It begins on November 9th, 2025. But in regards to transiting Mercury conjoining transiting Mars inside of the sky, it's hit on once already on October 20th, 2025. And that's when Prince Andrew he dropped his title, his Duke of York title, on I believe the 17th of October. And then I believe on the 20th of October, that's when there was a major internet outage in regards to Amazon Web Services, and they said like over like 1,000 online websites went down or systems. And then on the next day, I believe that not Jennifer, geez, I don't know why I'm calling her Jennifer, but Virginia Dufresne, she released her book called Nobody's Girl. And so, like I said, Prince Andrew, he dropped his title right before the book was released. And yet still, again, transiting Mercury conjoined Mars on that day. And it's going to conjoin Mars several other times this year and next year. And those dates, it's important because it lines up with Bill Clinton's progressions. And you saw that on October 1st, there was something to do with Epstein. And I did say that in my previous videos that in regards to Bill Clinton, his progressed moon made an opposition to either his progressed or his natal Neptune. So that happened on that day. And so we still have November 13th that's coming up that I've been talking about for the longest. And that's when Bill Clinton, his progressed moon will trine his progressed ascendant. And that's on the 13th of November. But see, a day before that, transiting Mercury will conjoin transiting Mars again. And something with Epstein or the Epstein victims could come up again on that day. So that's why I said this Mercury retrograde and this full moon is going to be huge. So should I stop right there in regards to just let me pause for a second. Okay, so let me get to the full moon. So the reason why this full moon is so important, well, let me go back a little bit. I did say that on October 30th, Hunter Biden, his progressed moon will make an aspect to either his progressed Uranus or his natal Uranus. Either way, I said that was on the 30th of October. On the 28th of October, that's when the GOP they deemed Joe Biden's pardons void. And I told you last year around the time that Donald Trump they brought those 34 felony charges against him or whatever. I think I said on June the 2nd, 2024 that Joe Biden he will feel the same sense of depression and loss that Donald Trump felt when he received those 34 felonies on January 20th. Well, really the progression hit on January 22nd, 2025. And that's when they signed those pardons. And so we're still talking those pardons now. So I said that that was going to be an issue. But so now I'm going to flash forward to this full moon that's coming up. Now a day before this full moon hits, transiting Mars is going to be, I believe, oppose transiting Uranus, and that's on let's see here, November 4th, 2025, and they're at the beginning stages of the sign. Let's see here, Sagittarius and Gemini. So, and also the next day on the 5th, the full moon hits. And let's see here. See, I said that in Chuck Schumer's chart, his progressed moon will make an aspect to his nodes or whatever, and that means it's like a fated event for him. And also on November 5th, 2025, for Donald Trump, his progressed moon will make an aspect to Uranus. Something bad and shocking should happen on that day in regards to Donald Trump. However, for Donald Trump Jr., his progressed moon will conjoin his natal Jupiter, and so that means he gets lucky for some reason. And so all I know is that it's going to be November 5th. That full moon is going to be a very, very eventful time, and we're still in I believe the Mercury retrograde shadow, and Mercury retrograde begins on I believe November 9th, 2025. Anyway, also on November 5th, 2025, they're going to have I think there's something called refuse fascism or whatever. There's some kind of people that anyway, let me pause for a second. Let me get the correct information. Okay, so the group is called, I believe, Refuse Fascism. They plan on having a protest on November 5th, 2025, and they plan to surround the White House or whatever. Or that's what has been reported. Because it's the 1 year anniversary of Donald Trump's election win. And Refuse Fascism, they're reportedly linked to the No Kings protest. So that's that. We'll see what comes. So like I'm saying, lay low around no this full moon. Because it's right in the middle of this Mercury retrograde shadow as well. So I believe Mercury retrograde begins on November 9th, 2025. And see, transiting Mercury will conjoin transiting Mars on the 12th of November. And see, on the 13th of November, Bill Clinton, I'm repeating myself, I know, but this is extremely important. So on the 13th of November, that's when Bill Clinton's his progressed moon will trine his progressed ascendant. And see, the last time this happened was on December 26th, 1998. And you know that's around the time that the impeachment hearings were happening. But the impeachment began on the 19th of November, I mean the 19th of December, 1998. And I hope I didn't say that wrong. So the impeachments for Bill Clinton began on November 19th, 1998. And the progression that was shown inside of his chart was progressed. Moon made a aspect to his progressed ascendant. It was a quincunx, I believe, but anyway, it happened on December 26th, 1998. And so it's happened once, and it happened before that in 1998 too. I believe that for Bill Clinton, his progressed moon opposed his natal ascendant on January 26th, 1998, and that's when he claimed, where he reportedly claimed that he did not have sexual relations with that woman or Monica Lewinsky. And so Bill Clinton, his progressed moon opposed his natal ascendant on July 5th, 2025. And that's when the DOJ, they came out and said that Epstein did not have a client list, and Epstein did in fact kill himself. And like I said, Bill Clinton had that progression side of his chart. And so now that the progressed aspect of Bill Clinton's progressed moon trining his progressed ascendant is happening on November 13th, 2025, and that's one day after transiting Mercury conjoins transiting Mars in the sky. And the last time Mercury conjoined transiting Mars in the sky was when Prince Andrew dropped his titles and Jesus. And the internet went down, and Virginia Dufresne released her book. I'm repeating myself, but yeah. And then also, I believe around the same time, on the 28th or the 30th, on the 28th or the 30th of October, I think Joe Biden, his pardons were deemed void. So, and on the same day, I believe, or the 30th, I think, Prince Andrew, he was stripped of his prince title by the royal palace or whatever. So anyway, so that's why I said that this Mercury retrograde and this full moon is like important. It's a lot of information. I'm sorry. Let me pause for a second. Let me get some water or something just to try to calm down, because I got to give you the rest of the other dates too. Because it's going to hit, I think, a total of 5 times. Transiting Mercury, conjoining transiting Mars. So let me pause for a second. Okay, so what I was trying to say was that the weird thing about all of this is that because on the 14th of November, Donald Trump Jr., he has a progression to, I believe, Saturn in his progressed chart. So for some reason, even though some kind of situation with Epstein could come up with Bill Clinton on the 12th and the 13th of November, for some reason it's a bad event for Donald Trump Jr. because his moon making an aspect because his progressed moon making an aspect to his Saturn, his natal Saturn, his progressed Saturn. Anyway, let me pause for another second. Oh yeah, and I also missed that also on the 30th of October, the internet, Amazon Web Services, it went down again, just like it did on the 20th of October. So Amazon Web Services went down on the 20th of October and I believe like the 28th of October. And I said in the previous video that this Amazon Web Services going down is kind of weird, because when Ghislaine Maxwell, when she was sentenced to I believe 20 years in prison, it's like a month later, that's when, in my opinion, maybe a dead man switch was triggered or something like that. But the Amazon Web Services went down then too, and a lot of people, well, I think it was for 20 minutes there, but it's up in Canada, I think that there was some kind of. Let me pause for a second to get the correct company that where the internet services went down. Okay, so Ghislaine Maxwell, she was sentenced to 20 years in prison on June the 28th, 2022. And there, see, I think days later, on July 8th, 2022, there was a major nationwide service disruption in Canada. And it was on July 8th, 2022, by Rogers Communications outage. It's called the Rogers Communications outage. But see, I think days later, on July 28th, 2022, Amazon Web Services, they went down as well after Ghislaine Maxwell was sentenced to 20 years in prison. And so now, like I said, on the 20th of October, that's when some stuff came up with Epstein then, and like Amazon Web Services went down again. And this is the same day that Transiting Mars conjoined Transiting Neptune. This is when Transiting Mars conjoined Neptune, thinking like deception and hidden things. So this is on October 20th. Transiting Mercury conjoined Transiting Mars in the sky, and Transiting Mercury's going to retrograde and do the same thing again. And I said on the 20th that Bill, I'm repeating myself. I've already said this previously. I'm re-recording this stuff, so it's like, ugh. So all I know is that this Epstein stuff is about some stuff can go down because all of these retrograde dates for transiting Mercury, they line up with Bill Clinton's chart. And I'm trying to see how I can do this to make it easier on me. So let me pause one more time. Okay, let me try this. So I've already said that on October 21st, 2025, for Bill Clinton, his progressed moon opposed his progressed Neptune. On the same day, transiting Mercury, it conjoined transiting Mars on October 20th, 2025. Let's see here. Transiting Mercury, it will begin to retrograde on November 9th, 2025. Let's see here. Transit Mercury will conjoin retrograde transit Mercury will conjoin transit Mars on November 12th, 2025. And for Bill Clinton, his progressed moon will trine his progressed ascendant. Let's see here. Okay. Well, on November 28th, 2025, for Bill Clinton, his progressed moon will oppose his natal Venus. The last time this happened was on June 21st, 1998. So he has a progression on his day that Mercury stations. Transit retrograde Mercury stations, then goes direct. So let's see here. Transit retrograde Mercury stations and goes direct on November 29th, 2025. Let's see here. So for Bill Clinton on January 17th, 2026, his progressed moon was sextile his progressed nodes, and the last time this happened, I think, was a submission of the star report. On January 18th, 2026, transit Mercury will conjoin transit Mars again. That's why I say that this this Mercury retrograde is going to probably be a huge event. Let's see here. I think I add this too. For Bill Clinton on January 24th, 2026, his progression will trine his progressed Pluto, and transiting Neptune will enter the sign Aries on January 26th, 2026. Let's see here. When's the next? Anyway, let me just keep on going. On February 12th, 2026, for Bill Clinton, his progressed moon will quincunx his progressed sun. And see, on February 13th, 2026, transiting Saturn will enter Aries, the sign Aries. So, let's see here. I'm trying to see if there's anything else for Bill Clinton. No. Okay, so when is he going to station? So on February 26th, 2026, transit Mercury was stationed and began to go retrograde again. And transit retrograde Mercury will conjoin transit Mars on March the 15th, 2026. And transit Mercury will station and go direct on March 20th, 2026. And let's see, transit Mercury will conjoin transiting Mars again on April 20th, 2026. And weirdly enough, on April 26th, 2026, which is also my birthday, transit Uranus will enter the sign Gemini. Now, Bill Clinton has three more major progressions that I've noticed that correlate with the impeachment hearings. So the last three, it seems to be, but it's probably not gonna be the last events in regards to the whatever that comes up with that. But for Bill Clinton on May 4th, 2026, his progressed moon was sextile how his natal nodes. That means a fated event could happen. On May 16th, 2026, his progress for Bill Clinton, his progressed Venus will conjoin his progressed Mars, and that just means that something angering can happen in regards to his relationships and partners and etc. So let's see here on May 27th, 2026, for Bill Clinton, his progressed Mercury will sextile his natal Mars, and that's all I'm going to say in regards to this Mercury retrograde situation. Um, all I can say is that pretty much this might be the most let me try to find a word that can get my point across. Pause. I guess the word I can probably use is explosive and informative and revealing. Like I said, if you don't like tarot cards, click off now. But I'm not gonna show it yet. But I said this judgment card pretty much sums up everything in regards to what may go down. And so this is judgment. Let's see here. I'm trying to not get any reflections or whatever. Let me see if I can pull up the lore I had on this card. Oh, it is here. Huh. The lore that I wrote on True Social. I know I'm repeating myself or whatever, but it's like this is very important, and it looks like nobody else sees this, so I'm just posting this now, so that in the future I can always go back and say that I said this is going to happen. Anyway, basically I posted something saying hashtag Bill Clinton is fucked. This is basically it. So this retrograde is going to be explosive. Why? Because on the 5th of December, 2025, Ghislaine Maxwell, and this energy can be felt pretty much all year, and it has been felt all year. But everybody's saying it's Donald Trump. It's not Donald Trump. I'll get back to this card in a minute. But on December 5th, 2025, for Ghislaine Maxwell, her progressed Pluto will trine her natal Mercury. And like that means there's some explosive information that should come out. And so that whatever that came out inside of August in regards to whatever she said to the FBI or whatever or the DOJ, maybe that was the truth, or maybe that was a sting operation. I don't know. I just know that something comes out that's explosive in regards to Ghislaine Maxwell, and it looks like Bill Clinton is very, 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 very much implicated inside of something. And so, yeah, like I there are no words because I mean, when this comes out, I told you in one of my videos, I said that Donald Trump is you gonna wish that you was blind. He's what did I say? I said he's gonna basically just you're gonna wish that you were blind. You're gonna see so clearly. You're gonna see the truth so clearly that you're gonna wish you were blind. Anyway, because I see that on Twitter, Elon Musk on around the same time that the Ghislaine Maxwell, her progressed Pluto is trining her natal Mercury. For Elon Musk, he has his progressed moon squaring his progressed Saturn. That happens on December 1st, 2025. It's like an emotional loss for him. And then also on December 4th, 2025, for Elon Musk, his progressed moon was sextile his natal sun. And so it should be like an ego boost. But with the progressed moon making an aspect to Saturn or whatever, it's like restricting whatever. Who knows? Maybe Elon Musk really did think that Donald Trump was in the Epstein files or whatever. Hopefully he's not inside the Epstein files. I mean, but something big, explosive information is about to come out. This Mercury retrograde is going to be the Mercury retrograde that just beats all Mercury retrogrades. Anyway, so I was going to the lore I wrote for this card. Jesus, if I can find it, I was on the page, but it looks like it changed for some reason. So here we are. I said, Jesus Christ, let me try to get the reflections off here. But I typed the number 21 Judgment, but this card, the lore is 20 is the number 20, but I said 21 because it's the 21st card in the Major Arcana deck or suit. Because the Fool, it starts off as the number 0, but it is the first card. And so if the fool is 0, then that makes this card the 21st card. And I keep forgetting to say that when you add 2 and 1 together, that's 3. And the number 3 is the you can think the third house, but it's also the number of Gemini. Donald Trump is a Gemini. I mean, he's a Gemini sun, a Leo ascendant. So the number 3 causes ups and downs in regards to Scorpios. And you know Hillary Clinton is a Scorpio. I said that as of June 2nd, 2025, I said that she has a major block that she's that's happening inside of her life. It may mean that she will never become the first female president, which is something that she probably really, really wants to be. And then another thing that came up was for Bill Clinton. I said October 11th, 2025, something shocking, hugely shocking was going to happen. And apparently what happened around the date was that Donald Trump, he was snubbed in regards to getting the Nobel Peace Prize. Even though he solved or he settled like 7 wars or something like that, and he was still working on a couple more. But anyway, so being that Donald Trump was snubbed in regards to trying to keep the peace, and also there was some stuff that was probably going on behind the scenes in regards to the Ghislaine Maxwell situation. He was trying to try to smooth it over, because maybe the Ghislaine Maxwell situation and the Epstein situation was intelligence. Like it seems that these people are reportedly alluding to or whatever, but I can't prove it until it possibly comes out. All I know is that something explosive, information, transformative is about to happen in regards to information, in regards to probably the Epstein situation, and definitely Bill Clinton or the Clintons. Anyway, so back to the I know I'm all over the place, but Judgment. This card. So the number 3 causes ups and downs in regards to Scorpios. So let's continue. 21 Judgment 3. It makes me think of the Clintons, the Democratic Party, and Donald Trump, as the 7 notes, loss of 8th, are played by the angel via a trumpet. And like trumpet, go figure. But there's 7 lines right there. That's the 7 notes. Right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So as the 7 notes are played by a trumpet, via a trumpet, the hidden coffins / caskets and buried bodies / secrets float out of the scorpionic thawed icy waters, coming unearthed, opening and exposing / revealing everything to be seen and judged. Ending the ending of winter and the beginning of spring, or a new season / era. P.S. I did say biblical. And I got the additional astrology right there. So the only reason why I bought this tarot card deck was because I saw this card. Somebody was just going through some cards. I was like, what is that card? And I was like, are those caskets? Are those caskets right there? I'm like, what kind of Resident Evil shit is this? Shout out to DC Douglas, the best voice actor in regards to the Resident Evil universe, in my opinion. Let's see here. Anyway, so that was my main point of this video. Is just this. No, that's not my main full point. So this upcoming full moon, I don't know, whatever it is, it could trigger Donald Trump to go ahead and finally unleash whatever he's had put set aside in regards to the midterm elections. Possibly he's probably trying to wait on this Epstein stuff or whatever. But I've already said that Donald Trump's not going to be too happy about the results of the midterm election. Jesus Christ, these cards are just like sliding everywhere, and I can't even organize them. Anyway, so I saw that Judgment card, and that's why I bought that deck. I was like, it was just a weird looking card. And to kind of find that there's a trumpet being blown and it's saying judgment. It lines up with everything else I was saying. Anyway, let's see here. Now, another thing that I told you the crazy story in my last video about this the tarot card that I bought. The Anyway, but apparently I bought the $15 version of these cards, and they sent me the $45 book and the is this upside down? It is upside down. Anyway, so this is the tarot card set that I ended up buying. I thought that I bought the $15 version thinking I was gonna get like just a pack of cards, but they sent me the $45 version. I'm like, okay. Well, it was like 5% off, so it or something. So it's like really worth like $50. I was like, oh, okay, well, lucky me. But I told you the weird story that happened in regards to that. And if you haven't seen it, it's my previous video that I made on Halloween, but it wouldn't post until like November 1st because it was such a huge file. Anyway, let me see here. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end this video here. Whatever happens on the 5th or the full moon or whatever, it could trigger Donald Trump to just go ham. I don't know. I just know that he gets shocked that day, and so again, I want to do this joke again. Yeah. So, Jesus Christ. They said that September 20 that September 7th or September 21st eclipse that happened. I can get my words out. They said that eclipse that happened in September was going to eclipse Donald Trump, and I told everyone that it wasn't going to be Donald Trump that was going to be taken out. It was going to be Bill Clinton. And so there's your eclipse right there. Pretty much I've said this story so many times already. Just go back and watch my previous videos. This is the Salt River Bay quarter. Jesus Christ, let me cover my eyes so I can. This is the Salt River Bay quarter. And you know that Bill Clinton, he was subpoenaed to testify to the DOJ on the day after Christopher Columbus Day, which was on October 14th, 2025. And also, there was also the same day of Charlie Kirk's birthday. Go figure, you can't make it up. And so I think we'll end this video with this joke right here. They said that on an article from the New Republic, they said that they did a survey in regards to all of Bill Clinton's lovers or whatever. And apparently they came to the conclusion that Bill Clinton is 5 inches and the circumference of a quarter. Google it. It's from the New Republic. The article is titled a president. Let me pause so you can find that. So the article is called "The Presidential Penis: A Short History," and it's from the New Republic. And they basically said, let me see if I got the article still. So the article basically states, it says, thanks to various sex scandals, we have detailed multiple. We have detailed descriptions of Bill Clinton's penis. According to Robert Bennett, Clinton's lawyer in the Paula Jones case, in terms of size, shape, direction, whatever the devious mind wants to concoct, the president is a normal man. There are no blemishes. There are no moles. There are no growths. I'm surprised. I'm surprised. The Independent offered a more prosaic account. His erect penis is about 5 inches long, has a circumference of a quarter. You know what? Let me just get. Well, I can't hold it at the same time. The circumference of a quarter. Right? So let me start back over. His erect penis is about 5 inches long, has a circumference of a quarter, and heads off at an angle, presumably rather like a finger bent at a joint. So that's a quarter. Here's 5 inches. Here, oops. There you go. So, and again, I guess I'm gonna do the eclipse joke again, because I'm just gonna just flex a little bit, because Nobody else has said anything about this. I'm shocked. I'm like, you have all these astrologers out here and they don't see this. Anyway, so they said that Donald Trump's going to be eclipsed or whatever, and nope. So this is the girth of, well, this is the girth of, this is the reported girth of Bill Clinton, and here's the girth of JFK. Well, the girth of JFK. JFK's coin, $50 coin. Anyway. Okay, and I think I want to say something about Danny Williams Clinton or whatever. Because this is probably going to be a huge video in regards to one of my predictions, so let me pause for a second. Okay, so Danny Lee Williams Jr. / Clinton, he was born on December 7th, 1985 in Little Rock, Arkansas. And I think that's where Bill Clinton, he lived at one point in time. I don't know. He was a governor of Arkansas at one point in time too. So what I wrote here was that pretty much these are the astrological progressions that definitively prove to me that Danny Williams / Clinton is in fact Bill Clinton's biological son, in my personal opinion, looking at the astrology. So around March / April 1985, Danny Williams, his mother was impregnated by somebody. Now looking at Bill Clinton's chart, on November 10th, 1985, for Bill Clinton, his progressed Saturn made a sextile to his natal Mars. And his progressed Saturn, I believe, is inside of the his 10th house. And his natal Mars is in his first house. And so let's see here. So let's keep on moving on. So on November 11th, 1985, one day after that, for Bill Clinton, his progressed Mars made a square to his natal Saturn. And so, yeah. So that's like, and again, for Bill Clinton, his progressed Mars is inside of his first house, and his natal Saturn is inside of his 10th house. So let me pause for a second. So this progression is like an emotional block, and it causes fury in regards to the first house rules the self, and the 10th house rules status and image. So it could have been something that could have destroyed his image. But it's a being that it's Saturn, it's a physical thing, and it's a physical manifestation of it. So whatever happened did happen. But for some reason, I guess it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened yet. I don't know, but anyway. Because anyway, so in these progressions, they last for a very long time. You can feel them for months. So a month later, on December 7th, 1985, that was the birth of Danny Williams / Clinton. Nice guy right here, checkmate. The best astrologer inside the world. Sound astrologer, Ice Blue 333, the god of astrology. The god of astrology. The god of astrology. 3 times. 3. Anyway, oh, I had this here too. Anyway, I'm not gonna say that. So let's see. I wonder how I want to end this video. Let me end it here. Bye for now.